Hi, I'm John Felt, founder of Blue Water Outlook. Looks like a quiet week across most of the U.S. Unfortunately, this means that there will be little, if any, relief from the widespread drought. For an update on water resources across the nation, stay tuned to this week's edition of the Weekly Water Outlook. Let's start out today's briefing by taking a look at the percent of normal rainfall for last week. You might notice that we have splotches of blue and splotches of red across much of the nation. This is a typical summertime pattern. The areas of blue are above normal rainfall. The areas of red are below normal rainfall. This hit or miss precipitation is typical of your summertime thunderstorms, where some areas received a lot of rain and right next to that other areas not much at all. Some exceptions are the Pacific Northwest and just about all of California that's received very little rain over the last week. Or also primarily in the middle part of the country where we really need rain, I think we see a little bit more red than we do above normal rainfall. The U.S. Drought Monitor shows where we have areas of drought across the country. And as you've probably heard recently, a lot of the country is in drought, a record number. The areas of yellow and brown are the more minor to moderate drought. The areas of red and maroon are the extreme or exceptional drought. And we have most of the country in some degree of drought at the current time. The most extensive drought occurs over the central part of the nation from Colorado, Kansas, parts of Nebraska, Missouri, and Illinois, as well as Arkansas. And then a persistent long-term drought remains over central parts of Georgia and adjacent states. As you might expect with a prolonged period of below normal rainfall, stream flow is also very well below normal. This is from the USGS, and you can see the areas in brown are moderate or severe hydrologic drought. And we have very low flows in many of these areas. You might remember on the Mississippi River, there are some problems with barge traffic due to low flow. And in Georgia, on the Flint River, we've been running at historically low readings for quite some time now. Let's take a look at the big picture. This week, we have high pressure building in the west and lower pressure in the east. Under that ridge of high pressure, we expect dry weather and very hot temperatures. In the east, with that dip in the jet stream, even though it's fairly modest, that will bring a bit cooler temperatures and a chance of some scattered and light precipitation. Along the upper flow, there will be some weak impulses of energy passing through that will provide a chance of rain now and then. Doesn't look like anything heavy nor widespread. Over the southeast U.S., scattered thunderstorms will continue as they have in the last couple weeks. Here are some of the trends for the week. There are going to be some areas with very little or no rain. Anything in that red line, not much rain at all, and some of those areas could really use it. We do have two areas that hardly any rain is expected over Texas and adjacent states. No rain at all over the entire week. And the Pacific Northwest and California, once again, very little or no rain. Over the eastern part of the U.S., we expect scattered showers over the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley region. As I mentioned, nothing all that significant. And then scattered hit or miss storms over the southeast U.S. Now, some of them could produce very heavy rain here and there, but keep in mind they are going to be scattered. Probabilities 30 or 40% on any given day. The National Weather Service puts out a threats index that shows where some of the problems would be over the following week. And as we see here, the problems are going to be heat and drought this week. We're going to continue that pattern. It's not going to be nearly as much too much rain. It's going to be not enough rain over the next week. The drought, we don't see much relief at all in the drought over the next week due to the rainfall. There could be some heavy rain over the southeast U.S. here and there. That could provide some relief in a few spots, but for any area that does experience some relief, there will be others that have no relief at all due to any rain. So here are your takeaway points from the Weekly Water Outlook. Drought will remain the top story this week. That will result in continued increase in soil moisture deficits and drought impacts. There will be some scattered storms in the southeast U.S. The impact will be variable. Keep in mind we're in flash flood season, so even though the story is overall dry, any individual thunderstorm could produce very heavy rain. And finally, tropical development is not expected this week. Thanks for listening to the Weekly Water Outlook. If you would like detailed information on water resources throughout the entire week, including an analysis of rainfall events, updates on tropical season, and outlooks for water resources, please consider subscribing to the Blue Water Outlook stream. You can subscribe at bluewateroutlook.com.